On this episode of In Your Neighborhood, we're exploring haunted Danville. Plenty of stories about hauntings at the Montour County Courthouse, so we got together with the Cole Region Paranormal team. They're going to do an investigation in the building, and we get to tag along. Let's check it out. With the cooperation of county authorities, including Commissioner Trevor Finn, we arranged an investigation of the Montour County Courthouse. Members of the Cole Region Paranormal team participated in an earlier investigation of the building in July 2009. At that time, Gary Borisevich saw a full-bodied apparition appear in the courtroom. We were hoping for a repeat performance as our team gathered on June 30th. I joined 9 members of CRPT, Commissioner Finn, and 2 CCN crew members, Britt Troop and Matt Gertie, who were just a little bit excited about the evening. Okay, Britt, so we're about to go ghost hunting.
Very excited.
Yeah? What do you think about all this?
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
I don't know if I fully believe in it, but I really hope we see something.
All right, that's fair. I guess we'll find out, right?
Yes.
Britt is our resident skeptic, and Matt is a big fan of ghost hunting shows.
I watch some of the different ghost hunting shows on TV.
So you're a little bit excited about this? What do you think about all this?
I think, worst case scenario, this is such a cool old building. Even if nothing happens, it's just neat to be here when nobody else is here.
The courthouse is a huge 4-story building built in 1871. The basement is used for record storage and is a hub for the communication system. The first floor is mostly offices to which we did not have access. The courtroom, judges' chambers, and jury room make up the second floor, and the third floor is home to the probation office. There is also access to the bell tower from the third floor. As lead investigator, Rich Roselle designed the plan for the evening. A stationary infrared camera was set up at the end of the hall on the first floor, and teams were deployed simultaneously to the other 3 floors. The first order of business was to take baseline readings.
We take baseline readings so that we can do the comparisons later on. That way, if you do have something that shows up and that experience or that photograph or that voice is coupled with perhaps a change in those readings, it's just a little bit more to give the science piece of it some validity, even though there isn't a true science.
Electrical lines and equipment have an electromagnetic field that can be picked up by the K2 and Mel meters.
Okay, 4.5 by the communication equipment. 0.3 to 4.5. Let me just see what you're getting for a reading.
I have 75 degrees and I have a 58.1 milligauss, 62, 59, 61,
yeah, this
64.
Yeah, 82.9, 75. Okay, obviously this room is going to create a problem. Okay. Wow, yeah, this one's...
I thought you were...
3 to 73.7 range. And then, okay. As we're getting ready right now, we've done our baseline reading, so we've looked at the electromagnetic fields and we've looked at the temperature. So each of our investigators is going to find one place to sit within their assigned floor, and we're going to do a vigil. Essentially, what's happening now is we want to sit, listen to the sounds of the building, just kind of get accustomed to the noises so that we can kind of pay attention to that with anything that we may hear. And if there's any spirits here, it gives them a chance to kind of check us out as well. So it's that little, you know, kind of let's get used to each other thing. So we're going to get all that ready. I'm going to get some equipment set up because during that time, even though we are going to be radio silent and voice silent, we still will put recorders on and we will still have meters out just in case something decides to check us out. So I'm going to get those things ready, and then we're going to radio in so that Rich knows that we can start our vigil.
While Britt was with Karen's team in the basement, Matt and I were up on the 3rd floor with Rich, Megan, and Gary. During a walkthrough of the building earlier in the evening, Matt, Dave, and Gordon picked up some strange readings on both the MEL and K2 meters.
No, I want you, no, seriously, why do, okay. I know when it stops, but watch. Okay. What the hell is that?
It's almost like something's walking around.
But you know what? I mean, when you think that through, every time I stop, it continues for about the same amount of time before it turns off.
It's pretty consistent.
So it's, exactly. So I'm thinking it's probably just an environmental variable, or maybe
Yeah, it's just weird how the meters are going off.
If this is wrapped in a copper cupola and it's got lightning rods all around it, it could be just loaded with static. There could be static just all,
Yeah.
plus the, look at this. Like,
Yeah.
I know, it's sweating like a, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with all this, this could be a hot spot.
This is, what's weird is his picks up, his is picking up the milligauses of a magnetic field, and this is actually touch only. This is only supposed to go off when something touches this.
Huh.
So this isn't reading any environmental field. This is touch only.
But this thing, I have every light lit up.
huh.
Every light is lighting up. I'm on the window.
Right. That could be static,
Yeah,
like he's saying.
right. From being the cop wrapped in the cop. It's gotta be. It's just off the hook.
Now there's a blue. There, look. Now there's a blue,
Yeah.
and it stops.
Gordon also reported hearing the door to the bell tower rattling after everyone had exited. This seemed like an ideal spot for us to set up shop for the first rotation. Megan took temperature readings while Rich set up an infrared camera. After the vigil, we headed back up to the bell tower.
Whoa.
It's neat up here.
It is. Not in love with these stairs, not gonna lie. They're a little skeevy, but it's neat.
While we're up here, we might as well see if anybody's up here with us.
Oh, okay, let's do something cool, Rich, while we still have good enough light to shoot it.
What we're going to do is an EVP session. That's basically, we're using digital recorders. The theory is that they use frequencies different than ours, and the digital recorders will pick that up where we may or may not hear them with our ears.
Okay.
Well, my name is Rich, and I'm here with a couple of friends, and we're here just to try and see who is here at the Montour County Courthouse. Maybe you worked here, maybe you lived by here, maybe you had nothing to do with the courthouse, but just stay here. If there is anybody else here tonight, can you tell me your name? Can you tell me if you know you're dead? I hope you realize that we're not here to scare you away. We're not here to cause you any problems. We're just here to find out who is here. And would appreciate you giving us some sign that you're here. You can knock on something like this. You can yell as loud as you can and we may be able to hear you. You can touch me. You can push me if you want. You can't hurt anybody. But you can let us know you're here. Can you make a knock like that?
Our EVP session went on for a few more minutes before Rich invited us to join in.
You guys wanted to join in? Any questions you want to ask a ghost that might be here?
Do you get hot up here?
It's a good question.
Fair enough. It was at least 85 degrees in that bell tower. Next, we decided to pull out another tool in the ghost hunter's arsenal, a ghost box.
This one is called a Shack Hack because it uses a Radio Shack model radio. And what it's modified to do is to rapidly scan frequencies like you can see, and it doesn't lock in on one. The theory is that they can take those little samples of audio and answer questions we might ask them or give a message. We've had some success with it. Okay? But anyway, that they can take the little sound bites and answer questions or send a message.
Okay.
We've had some success with it. So like we did the regular EVP session before, we'll ask the same kind of questions and give them some time to try and use this.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's see.
Now, when you've had success with it, does it stick on one channel, or does it
No, it scans.
does it break the pattern at all?
What it breaks, and the way that we can tell that it's doing something is you'll get a voice that is completely different than what you've been able to hear even on the scan. It might be a distinctly female voice, or maybe even almost mechanical voice, but you try and pull through the bleed through something that is significantly different and is appropriate to what you're asking. This is Rich again, and I'm here with Jen, and we're going to ask you the same kind of questions, except now we have something that you can take and you can use to form words, and hopefully we'll be able to pick them up on our recorder later. So please feel free to use this, and maybe you can tell me, who are you? What is your name? Can you tell me if there's any besides the three of us? Is there anybody else up here tonight? Maybe you prefer to talk to a lady instead of me. Jen, would you like to ask any questions?
Why are you still at the courthouse? Did you die here at the courthouse? After this first rotation, the teams gathered in the commissioner's office for a break and to review any interesting occurrences. For the most part, things were pretty quiet. We were able to explain the rattling bell tower door. A couple of things you may have noticed, particularly if you're a fan of ghost hunting television shows. First, we are all wearing black. Why do we always wear black?
Well, first of all, because the white and with the infrared lights tends to blur, and it'll give brightness to the camera, and sometimes a whiteout, which will interfere with anything that we're trying to take a picture of.
Okay.
The darker colors appear white, but don't black out the camera.
Okay, so it's really simple. It's not so we can all look cool and ghost huntery.
It's not so we can sneak around in the dark and not see each other.
Okay, fair enough. Second, we are not whispering during a rotation.
The reason that we talk at regular tone of voice rather than whisper is because when you whisper, you can't tell what is actually a paranormal voice and what is somebody actually whispering, their name or something, in order to try to be quiet. Besides, the ghosts know we're there. We don't have to whisper.
We sat through another hour of rotation, and let me tell you, it was really quiet in that courthouse. As the clock ticked toward midnight, it was decided that we should hold a group EVP session in the courtroom. Since we were in the courthouse, the line of questioning often centered on a ghost's criminal record.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law? Is that why you hang around here? Are you trying to prove that you're not guilty? Or were you guilty and they didn't figure that out and you're just here to kind of spite them? We really would like to understand why it is that someone would stay here after they pass on from this earth. Can you tell us that? What's it like?
Even Trevor Finn had a few questions for any spirits that might be hanging around.
Were you guilty of a crime? Were you incarcerated in our jail? Do you believe in God?
Eventually, Rich moved on to one of his favorite bits.
I had tried to play before with the old shave and a haircut 2 bits. I'm sure if there's been other people in here investigating, they've done that. It's something we all can do. So I'll show you how it goes. And your answer should be. So let's see if you can end it for me this time.
You can faintly hear the first knock on the video, but all 12 of us in the room that night heard 2 distinct knocks that sounded like they were coming from the very far back corner of the courtroom. Unfortunately, we didn't get any further responses to our prompting. At the end of our EVP session, the team decided to call it a night. Coming up after the break, we'll have the results of our courthouse investigation.